So how would I rank the 10 Best Actress Oscar wins of the 2000s? Hey, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. It is time, my friends, for the Best Actress Oscar ranking of the 2000s. I have been waiting for this all summer. I have ranked supporting actor, supporting actress, actor. Now it's time for actress, my favorite category. I'm sure it's a favorite category for many of you. Let's start with number 10, Sandra Bullock, The Blind Side.
All I'm going to see is a brown Barca lounger. Now, no, listen to me. I'm the designer. My name is on it. Deliver what I ordered, all right? Thank you.
All right, let's get this one out of the way. It's hard to talk about this because Sandra Bullock is my favorite actress. I have adored her since I saw Speed in 1994. She is my all-time favorite, if you didn't know that by now. I think she's so charming, so talented in comedy and drama, in suspense, and all of it. You know, some of her movies are better than others, and The Blind Side is fine. I feel like I like that movie more than others do. I think she gives a fine performance in that. Was it Oscar worthy? Not necessarily. So leading up to that movie's release at the end of November of 2009, I was hearing rumblings that she might get like an Oscar nomination for The Blind Side. That she was at that level, you know? So I got really excited. I saw it opening night. I enjoyed the film well enough. I liked her performance. I walked out of the theater. I turned to my friend and said, she's not getting an Oscar nomination for that. No, that's not going to happen. She gets the Oscar nomination and then she wins. I was like, whoa! I could not even comprehend what was happening. Like, two of my favorite things, the Oscars and Sandra Bullock, came together for that one night, and I was freaking out. I could not believe Sandra Bullock had won an Oscar, and for that movie. I was just like, wow, okay, you know, kind of a weak year, I guess, for Best Actress. I think a lot of Academy members saw this moment as an opportunity to give Sandra Bullock an Oscar, not just for The Blind Side, but for her career and for her being a movie star and drawing in audiences year after year into the theater. It had more to do with just The Blind Side. It was more about her career in general and how everybody really loves her, and because the competition wasn't overly fierce that year, it was like, yeah, let's give it to Sandra this year. It'll be an amazing moment on the stage, and it was. I adore her speech and everything, but I do think this is one of the worst Oscar wins in Best Actress. Even though I love her, will always love Sandra Bullock, I don't think this performance merited an Oscar nomination, let alone a win. You know, she's so much better 4 years later in Gravity. Like, that was a very well-deserved nomination. I think she would have been a great winner for that film. But The Blind Side, no, you know, I mean, this had to be at number 10 on this ranking, sadly. You know, I wish I could put this at like number 2 or 3, but that would just feel wrong to me. That would not make sense. I mean, anyone who's seen The Blind Side knows this is not one of the greatest Oscar wins in Best Actress. So sadly, my favorite actress, Sandra Bullock, has to settle for number 10 on this ranking. The person who should have won the Best Actress Oscar that year for 2009 was, of course, Gabourey Sidibe for Precious. She is astonishing in that film. What a dynamite dramatic performance. Gabourey Sidibe should have won this, not Sandra Bullock.
If I can take this moment to thank Helga B. For not letting me write in cards with boys till I was 18, because she was right, I would have done what she said I was going to do.
Number 9, Kate Winslet, The Reader.
Doesn't matter what I think. The dead are still dead.
So here is another actress I adore. My 3 favorites are Sandra Bullock, Meryl Streep, and Kate Winslet. And I'm ranking Kate Winslet, who got her one and only to date Oscar win, at number 9 on this list. I mean, it's wild. You know, I should just go against all of my feelings about these performances and these wins and rank Sandra and Kate right there at the top. You know, it's like, the thing I have against the Kate Winslet Oscar win is that I prefer a performance of hers in a different movie the same year, Revolutionary Road, which she won a Golden Globe for, which she is absolutely incredible in. She's very good in The Reader. It's a very strong, dramatic performance. She has a transformation in the third act. It's the kind of performance that, like, on paper makes sense to win an Oscar. But that's kind of why I don't love it. It all feels kind of fabricated. The Reader, to me, feels like a movie that was designed from the beginning as something to win awards. Revolutionary Road doesn't feel that way to me. The latter film, directed by Sam Mendes, has an authentic feel to it. It's very moving, very surprising all the way through. The chemistry between Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio in Revolutionary Road, I mean, it just pops off the screen. Obviously, we knew from Titanic how great they were together. There is an intensity between those two that you don't have really at all in The Reader. This movie got into Best Picture and Best Director. It wins Best Actress for Kate Winslet. And who today is talking about The Reader? I just don't think that movie has had much staying power. I mean, you could argue Revolutionary Road isn't talked about as much anymore. You could argue that. But I just think of the two movies, the better performance is Revolutionary Road. That's the film she should have won her Oscar for. And so at the end of that season, I did have mixed feelings. I was happy to see Kate Winslet finally win on her 6th nomination, right? In just over a decade. Like with Sandra Bullock, I love her speech. Her speech is great. I don't know. I've never really loved that Oscar win for Winslet. I feel like she should have won for something else. If not Revolutionary Road, then Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Or Little Children or something, right? It didn't have to be for The Reader. That didn't have to happen, even though she's good in that. And this is not a terrible win. It's not a bad performance. I don't know. I think 100% the better win that night, if Kate Winslet wasn't going to be up for Revolutionary Road, would have been Meryl Streep for Doubt. My other favorite actress, I think her third victory should have been for Doubt and not the Iron Lady. So for Best Actress 2008, I would have gone with Meryl Streep for Doubt, not Kate Winslet for The Reader.
My friends and my family, especially my mum and dad, who are in this room somewhere, Dad, whistle or something, because then I'll know where you are. Yeah!
Number 8, Reese Witherspoon, Walk the Line.
What was I thinking? I must have been crazy. Y'all gonna blow this tour. You can't walk no line.
So I don't know how you feel about this one. I think Reese Witherspoon's Oscar win for Walk the Line might be the most forgettable Best Actress victory of the 2000s. I don't think that one has aged very well. She is solid in that movie. She has great chemistry with Joaquin Phoenix. And, she's playing a real life person. She kind of disappears into the role. She sings throughout the movie. And there's a lot to really admire about her performance in that. This isn't a terrible win. I just think it's really, really hard to get excited about Reese Witherspoon's Oscar victory for Walk the Line. Imagine if her victory instead had been for Election 6 years before. Like, she is bonkers brilliant in Election from 1999. She's not even nominated at the Oscars for that performance. She wins for Walk the Line. It's like, okay. There wasn't much excitement in the room when she wins. There's not much excitement now, I think. She's nominated in Best Actress again at the Oscars 9 years later for Wild. I think that's a much better performance. Definitely more memorable, I would say, than Walk the Line. So it's like, yeah, I was never going to rank this in the top 5, even though I adore Reese Witherspoon. She's really great. I have enjoyed her performances in film and TV going back to the 90s. It's just like, that's her win for Walk the Line? Okay, another thing that bugs me about her win for that is I do think if she was going to win the Oscar for Walk the Line, then Joaquin Phoenix should have won for Best Actor as well. But Best Actor that year was just way too competitive. That was the year Philip Seymour Hoffman won for Capote. Best Actress, the competition wasn't so fierce. Really, the only person who put up a fight was Felicity Huffman for Transamerica. Remember, she was in the running there. She could have maybe beaten Reese Witherspoon, but at the end of the day, Walk the Line just had more nominations, was the more beloved film that season. So Witherspoon seemed the likely person to win Best Actress. It happened, and that's fine. I'm happy she has one. But my choice in Best Actress that year, it wouldn't have been Witherspoon. It would not have been Huffman. It would be Keira Knightley for Pride and Prejudice. I know she was very young when she got that nomination. She was 20, right? She was very young in 2005, 2006, but she is so frickin' amazing in Pride and Prejudice. I just watched it again a few weeks ago, and I fell in love with her performance to such an extent where I was like, that should have been the Best Actress Oscar winner for 2005, not Reese Witherspoon for Walk the Line.
My grandmother was one of the biggest inspirations in my life. She taught me how to be a real woman, to have strength and self-respect, and to never give those things away.
Number 7, Hilary Swank, $1 Million Baby.
I seen you looking at me.
Yeah, out of pity.
Don't you say that. Don't you say that if it ain't true.
In some ways, I surprised myself ranking this one so low. I thought about like maybe 4 or 5. She's pretty freaking great in $1 Million Baby. And that's a wonderful movie by Clint Eastwood. I remember like the sensation that caused when it opened in December of 2004. It kind of came out of nowhere. There wasn't much talk about $1 Million Baby in the months leading up to its release. I remember like vaguely being aware of like, oh, there's this Eastwood film coming out at the end of the year, but I figured it would just, come and go. It wouldn't be anything spectacular, but that's a really great film. Everybody's good in it. Eastwood and Morgan Freeman and Hilary Swank. Another transformative performance, like where she is at the beginning and the middle and the end of that movie. It is a fully developed character and she attacks it with everything she has. I think it's cool that Hilary Swank won 2 Best Actress Oscars just 5 years apart. Pretty rare, right, that she was able to make that happen. I think she's better in Boys Don't Cry. I think that's partly why I have her ranked lower on this ranking. And I just think over the last 20 years, this win just hasn't lasted as well as some others. It doesn't fill me with the kind of joy my top 5 Best Actress winners of the decade do. Part of it is I don't much care for her speech that second time around. I don't love especially how it ends. And I also just get really frustrated when I remember Annette Bening has still never won, and she had to lose to Hilary Swank twice, That also bugs me about it. I think that's partly why I've never fully loved this Oscar win for Hilary Swank, even though she does a tremendous job in that movie, and others might rank this higher at 5 or 4 or maybe even 3 or something Best Actress 2000s. The other big reason I rank this Oscar win so low is that I think Kate Winslet's Oscar victory, the movie she should have won for, was absolutely Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That was one of the most inspired Oscar nominations for 2004. And looking back now, all these years later, it's yeah, Hilary Swank's really good in $1 Million Baby. Annette Bening is perfectly fine in being Julia. The winner that year, come on, it should have been Kate Winslet for her incredible performance. Comedic, dramatic, everything in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. She should have won Best Actress that year, not Hilary Swank for $1 Million Baby.
Clint Eastwood, thank you for allowing me to go on this journey with you. Thank you for believing in me. You're my Makushla.
Number 6, Helen Mirren, The Queen.
That's the way we do things in this country. Quietly. With dignity.
So one of the absolute top tier Best Actress Oscar lineups of all time is 2006. There is not a single weak link there. All 5 of those nominations are all-timers. Any one of those 5 nominees for Best Actress would have been worthy of the win. So this is a pretty remarkable group. I really, really love that lineup. And so you get to the winner, Helen Mirren for The Queen. That was sewn up for months, right? She was winning everything. That was the year the Academy decided we give Helen Mirren an Academy Award. And that's great. She's very good in that movie. I've seen The Queen a couple times, and it's really all about her performance. She is that movie. She's very transformative. She doesn't look like herself. She really does become the Queen in every respect. This is a very good win in Best Actress. I have nothing negative to say about it other than she would not have been my choice to win. She would actually be ranked at the bottom for me. I would have preferred any one of the other 4 nominees to have won. I just think that was such a strong year that I think we could have had a more exciting win. Like, what if Meryl Streep had won for The Devil Wears Prada? That would have been amazing. And then you have Kate Winslet. My other favorite performance of hers is in Little Children. Penelope Cruz is incredible in Voltaire, but my choice to have won Best Actress that year would have been Judi Dench for Notes on a Scandal. That is my favorite performance of hers, like even by a touch over Mrs. Brown. I think Judi Dench in Notes on a Scandal is just ripping, man. She is having such a blast playing that deliciously dark character. Her chemistry with Cate Blanchett is off the charts in that movie. Judi Dench is not there that year. She's not even at the ceremony to give a speech, so that would have been anticlimactic, I guess. She's not even there. Helen Mirren was there. She gave a wonderful speech. That was her moment, you know? It just felt that way on the night. So I have nothing against this win. The Queen is a biopic, and those kind of performances win Academy Awards all the time. They have for decades past, they will continue to do in the decades to come. And Helen Mirren in The Queen is one of those better kinds of performances, I think. Like, she's pretty spectacular in that. But if I had to make the choice, I do think this Oscar does not go to Helen Mirren for The Queen. I think it goes to Judi Dench for Notes on a Scandal.
You know, my sister told me that all kids love to get gold stars, and this is the biggest and the best gold star that I have ever had in my life.
Number 5, Nicole Kidman, The Hours.
I am attended by doctors everywhere. I am attended by doctors who inform me of my own interests.
They know your interests.
They do not.
So we reached the halfway point of this ranking video. I had to put Kidman right there in the middle, because I very, very much love this performance in The Hours as Virginia Woolf. Like, even though she's not in the movie very much, you could argue this is more a supporting actress performance than a lead performance. Category fraud bugs me sometimes, other times it doesn't. I feel like even though she's not in a lot of that film, her character does linger over the entire narrative. Like, you're thinking about her even when she's not on the screen. The story kind of begins and ends with her character and her story. So Best Actress for Nicole Kidman makes sense. She gives an amazing performance, transformative. Every moment she is on the screen, you can't look away. Nicole Kidman is another one of my favorites. I'm so happy she has a win. So why do I rank this at number 5 and not like 2 or 3 or 4 or something? It's that I do prefer another performance in the category, Renee Zellweger in Chicago. She got very close to a win. Chicago took Best Picture at the Oscars that night. It won Best Supporting Actress for Catherine Zeta-Jones. Renee Zellweger won Best Actress at SAG. So Zellweger came very close that night to winning. I would love to see the percentages, right? I would love to see how close it was. I do think if Nicole Kidman had not won for The Hours, she would have won an Oscar by now for something. I don't think Nicole Kidman would have gone the way of Amy Adams and Glenn Close and, 5-6 nominations by now. She's never won. Maybe her career would have looked a little different if she hadn't won for The Hours. I don't know. But I do think Kidman probably would have won later, so that's partly why I ranked this at number 5 and not any higher. I do think Renee Zellweger should have won that night for Chicago. That's her best performance on film. But Nicole Kidman in The Hours is also great. The Hours is an incredible film. I'm so happy it won something big at the Oscars. That wouldn't have felt right to me if The Hours went home empty-handed. So Nicole Kidman getting something for that movie, for what's probably the best performance in it. Like, if I had to pick one, it would be Kidman as Virginia Woolf. She is just so magnetic in that movie when she's just sitting and thinking, when she's like at that train station and she's screaming and upset. Like, she is so interesting to watch in that. And so this was a very well-deserved Oscar victory. Even though Renee Zellweger, I do think should have won instead, Nicole Kidman's victory in Best Actress for The Hours gets to be in the top half of this ranking.
Oh, Russell Crowe said, "Don't cry if you get up there," and now I'm crying.
Number 4, Julia Roberts, Erin Brockovich.
Not personal. That is my work. My sweat, my time away from my kids. If that's not personal, I don't know what is.
I love Julia Roberts in Erin Brockovich. I adore this movie. I adore her in it. She is spectacular in Erin Brockovich from 1 minute to the next. She is the entire movie. I know there's other people in it. Albert Finney is fantastic. Aaron Eckhart's really good in it. But this is Julia Roberts' movie through and through. And if there was ever a film that fully depended on her performance being amazing, it is Erin Brockovich. I think even more than Notting Hill and Pretty Woman and some other big films she's done. I think Erin Brockovich, like that movie sinks if she's not giving the performance of her career. And if you're a fan of Julia Roberts, that is such a fun movie to watch. I've probably seen it now 20 times, maybe more, and I always get something new out of it. I always notice something new about her performance. She fully loses herself in that character in a way she rarely does in other movies. I do think this is absolutely her best performance on film. That she won her Best Actress Oscar for her best performance, I think is really cool. That doesn't happen all the time. I wouldn't even say it happens half the time. Usually someone wins an Oscar for a performance that's like maybe like in the middle, it's like it's not their worst performance obviously, but it's not even close to their best. In the case of Julia Roberts, she won at the right time for the right performance. Some of you would rank this lower, I know, because of Ellen Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream, which I think is one of the greatest film performances of the last 25 years easily. She is on another level in that film. I mean, that is one amazing performance from Ellen Burstyn. The movie only was nominated in this one category. She had already won before, many decades before. I never really thought she could beat Roberts, especially after Roberts basically swept the season. Erin Brockovich was in Best Picture and Best Director at the Oscars, Best Supporting Actor. It was going to be very difficult for Burstyn to win, as I talked about in my recent video, all about why Julia Roberts won the Oscar that night. That was a really fun video to make and talk about all of the performances in the category, like some really wonderful work that year in Best Actress. I know Ellen Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream should have won. If we're just basing it on the quality of the performance, if Erin Brockovich was a movie I didn't much care for, if I didn't really like Julia Roberts that much, then yeah, maybe I would rank this win for Julia Roberts like at number 8 or 9 or something. But I really love that movie and I love her in it. So even though Burstyn in Requiem for a Dream is doing some incredible work all the way through, I also think Julia Roberts is outstanding in Erin Brockovich. So she gets to be at number 4 on this ranking. I am so happy Julia Roberts won her Academy Award for her best performance.
I thank you for really making me feel so... I love it up here.
Number 3, Halle Berry, Monsters Ball. What a moment. What a moment that was when Halle Berry became the first person of color to win Best Actress at the Oscars. That was a frickin' moment, y'all. That was amazing. Her speech, the tears, everybody in the room recognizing the power of this moment, what this means, or what it was supposed to mean anyway. Opening the door for more women of color to win Best Actress. We've only had Michelle Yeoh up until now, which is insane. Halle Berry is astonishing in Monsters Ball. I've seen it twice. It's a very hard movie to get through, It's very depressing. But that entire cast, that ensemble in that, including Billy Bob Thornton, including Heath Ledger, who's really good in that. Everybody's solid in that film, if not great. And then you have Halle Berry, who's not only super transformative in that, it doesn't really look like her. Her face, her clothes, her voice, how she carries herself, everything about Halle Berry in Monsters Ball feels like an actress who wants to be taken seriously, who is willing to do something different and go for broke, try something she's never really tried before. She was good in certain films throughout the 90s and stuff, but we all sat up in the theater and took notice of Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. We were like, holy shit, man. What an incredible dramatic performance from Halle Berry. We didn't know she had that in her, but she did. And she gave like what's probably still her best performance on film. It wasn't clear if she was going to win the Oscar that night. Monsters Ball is in only one other category, so it was like, I don't know. Sissy Spacek won the Golden Globe for In the Bedroom. That movie was in Best Picture, so it seemed like Spacek might win over Berry, but Spacek already had a Best Actress Oscar win in the 80s for Coal Miner's Daughter. She already had a win, so it was like, well, this would be an incredible night if Halle Berry won. I remember like going into the ceremony, I'm thinking, what will that moment look like? You know, if Halle Berry pulls it off, if she wins. And then it happened, and I could hardly catch my breath watching that speech she gave. I mean, that was one of the most memorable Oscar moments I have ever witnessed in my lifetime, and I was so thrilled her win was for this performance in Monsters Ball. It's a performance that absolutely stands the test of time, and I do think it's not just about, oh, we have to give an Oscar to a woman of color in Best Actress. It's been like 70 plus years, however long it had been at that point. You know, there's other great performances in the category. I, of course, love Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge. That would have been a good win too. And Sissy Spacek in the Bedroom as well. And everybody in that category deserves to be there. But looking back more than 2 decades later, I do think the rightful winner was Halle Berry for Monsters Ball. She gave one of the greatest, most memorable Oscar speeches in history. And yeah, this had to be near the top of this ranking.
And it's for every nameless, faceless woman of color that now has a chance because his door tonight has been opened.
Number 2, Marion Cotillard, La Vie en Rose. So now we get to the 2 landmark performances for the 2000s that won Best Actress at the Oscars. These top 2 choices, I mean, they're some of the best Oscar wins in the entire history of the Academy Awards. I think these 2 Best Actress victories are stunning with a capital S. Let's begin, of course, with Marion Cotillard, who plays Edith Piaf in La Vie en Rose, and just knocks it out of the park. Every moment in that movie, you are just glued to your seat in the audience. You're excited for what she's going to do and say next. You are mesmerized by her when she's singing. She's got lots of moments in that film when she's singing. The dialogue scenes, when she is just sitting and reflecting. She is a force of nature in La Vie en Rose. And I remember at the time, because of the movie's title, because the title was in French, I was like, she's not going to win the Oscar, right? Like, they probably won't give a performance in a foreign language movie the Oscar victory. Even though she is spectacular in the movie and would be a deserving winner, I thought Julie Christie was going to win that night for Away From Her. She won the SAG Award, and even though she had won Best Actress at the Oscars many decades before in the 60s, I thought she could pull it off. That's who I was predicting that night. I don't know about you. When Forrest Whitaker said Marion Cotillard, La Vie en Rose, I jumped out of my seat and cheered. That was the deserving winner that night. I knew that victory was going to endure for a long while. I didn't know that night, many years later, I would have a YouTube channel, The Awards Contender, where I'm ranking and talking about so many great Best Actress Oscar wins and stuff. I mean, as soon as I started making videos for this channel and thinking about Best Actress the last 20 or 30 years at the Oscars, one of the very best wins in this category is Cotillard in La Vie en Rose. She was very surprised that night. Her speech is pretty brief. I do think she was kind of shocked that she won. Like, I don't think everybody was predicting her. I wasn't. I thought Christie was going to take it, but Cotillard is an all-timer. That is an amazing performance. That film, if I remember right, came out in the summer of 2007, and so it could have just drifted away, It could have received 0 Oscar nominations, like if there wasn't much push behind that movie, like an awards campaign, but they made it happen, they got her in, and then Marion Cotillard won Best Actress at the Oscars, one of the finest performances in the history of the show to win in this category.
And it is true, there is some angels in this city. Thank you so much.
And finally, that takes me to the number one choice. Who do I rank at number one in this Best Actress Oscar ranking of the 2000s? If you've been watching my channel the last few years, if you've seen other ranking videos I've done, this is not going to be a surprise to you. I think this is one of the most remarkable film performances in history. My number one pick is Charlize Theron, Monster.
If she wants to smoke, she's gonna smoke, all right? We're paying fucking customers here. What? What you got? Huh? Want to bring it on?
So there wasn't anything surprising about this win. She basically steamrolled the season, won everything from the Globes to the Oscars. Everybody knew in early 2004 at the Academy Awards, Charlize Theron was winning. Like, there was no shocker there. You know, we were just like waiting out the minutes, waiting for Best Actress. So I think we know who's going to win here. Nobody came even close to beating her, right? You had Diane Keaton for Something's Gotta Give. Naomi Watts is excellent in 21 Grams, but come on. There was zero competition there. Charlize Theron was winning that 100%. So it's not that like this was one of the more surprising, exciting wins of the decade. I just think based on the power of that performance and her transformation into someone who looks nothing like Charlize Theron, Monster is an exceptional film, and her performance in it is unlike any other performance we have ever seen in the history of the movies. She is that good. This is why Charlize Theron gets to be at the top of this ranking. I couldn't even imagine putting her at number 2. Playing a notorious real-life serial killer, she completely transforms in her body, in her voice, in how she walks, her expressions, her gestures. It's just like, whoa! Whoa, where did this performance come from Charlize Theron, of all actresses? You know, she had been fine in some other movies around that time. She's very beautiful, very charismatic. She can hold her own in a film that has like a lot of men in it and stuff, like The Italian Job, which came out the same year as Monster. Like, she's good in that film, but nothing prepared us for her performance in Monster. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And kind of like some other films I've talked about in this ranking video, Monster is not an easy sit. It's not a movie I want to throw on every 1 to 2 years. I've only seen it 3 times, I think. You know, and the 2 times I revisited the movie was for her performance. I wanted to see her work in that film again, and it's just astounding. Like, she's been good since, right? She's received 2 Oscar nominations since. She's, of course, amazing in Mad Max Fury Road, and she's still doing really good work to this day, but there's nothing like her performance in Monster. That was definitely a moment in her career where she wanted to prove something. She wanted to do everything she could to bring this woman to life and make Charlize Theron, the actress, disappear completely. And so I just think every choice she makes in that movie, every scene where she's screaming, every scene where she is quiet and reflective, it is just a joy to watch through and through. To see this actress burst out of her shell and show the world what she's capable of, that was an amazing moment in Charlize Theron's career. Like, it really made her a different kind of actress from there on out. It was an amazing moment for all of us to see this actress blossom on screen into doing something extraordinary, and it was an amazing moment at the Oscars. Charlize Theron winning Best Actress for Monster is one of the best acting Oscar wins in history, going all the way back to the beginning of the ceremony at the end of the 1920s. I absolutely adore this performance, and I adore this Oscar win for Charlize Theron. Of course, my number one pick for the greatest Best Actress Oscar victory of the 2000s is Charlize Theron for Monster.
And there are no words to describe how much I love you, and I'm not gonna cry. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below how would you rank Best Actress at the Academy Awards for that decade, and I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.